Ariel Helwani in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, alongside Dan Henderson, who meets Sugar Rashad Evans this Saturday night at UFC 161, live on pay-per-view. And Dan, thank you very much for the time. First off, I want to ask you a question not about Rashad Evans. Your old pal, Chael Sonnen, dropped somewhat of a bombshell earlier this week when he said that both you and him worked in cahoots last year to, quote-unquote, set up Jon Jones to fight him on 8 days' notice when you got injured and eventually UFC 151 was canceled. Is he telling us the truth?
Well, let me ask you this. Have you known Chael to tell the truth all the time? Or ever, for that matter? No, it's absolutely not true. There's no truth to that whatsoever.
Does it bother you he would say that?
A little bit. I mean, it's one thing for him to kind of say what he says, but when it involves me in a little lie, then that's when I guess I have a little problem with it. But I didn't put a whole lot of stock into it because I think Chael's proven to people that not necessarily everything that comes out of his mouth's the truth. So.
Did you call him up and say, why are you getting me involved in this?
No, I kind of had a lot going on this week, so I figured I'd deal with it next week.
How's your relationship with him these days?
It's good. It's good. Usually when he'll text me and give me a heads up when he says something, but I had no warning on that one.
This is an interesting fight, you versus Rashad, because both of you are coming off losses, and losses where people were questioning your place in the sport, how much longer you have, what kind of what kind of spot you have right now in your respective division. Who has more pressure? I'll ask you the same question that I asked him. Who has more pressure, in your opinion, going into this fight, you or him, considering what happened in your last fight?
I don't even consider what happened in my last fight. It doesn't put any more pressure on me whatsoever. It's you're asking me if I come off a win, if I'm going to try less. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to give 100% out there. I'm still going to be trying to execute my game plan and knock him out and do what I can to win the fight. So it doesn't matter if I come off a loss or a win in my mind. That there's no added pressure whatsoever. I always have that pressure I put on myself to perform and follow my game plan the best I can.
In your opinion, what went wrong against Lyoto Machida?
I guess I didn't expect him to run as much as he did. That's the biggest thing, and I should have been a little bit more aggressive, but at the same time, it's tough to do when the guy's running the whole time, and he's good at what he does as far as moving and not fighting and stopping and maybe landing one little shot, but it was a frustrating fight, and I think it was frustrating for the fans to watch as well, and it's tough to fight somebody like that.
So do you think that was more about what he didn't do as opposed to what you didn't do? Was that more on his shoulders as far as what happened in the fight than yours?
I could barely even consider that a fight because there wasn't anything that happened either way. I mean, I could have been more aggressive. He could have not ran as much. I don't think you can put it on any one guy, but I think I've proven throughout my career that I typically am a lot more exciting to watch than that fight, and he hasn't really done that. So, but again, I hardly can consider it a fight because not much happened.
A lot of people weren't very high on Rashad's last fight. Speaking of not exciting fights, him versus Antonio Nogueira. Did you watch that fight? And if so, what do you think of his performance?
Yeah, I watched it. He just looked kind of flat. It didn't look like he was running, but he wasn't moving forward. He wasn't aggressive. And those fights happen. I think everybody's had those fights, but, we're not the most exciting thing. But he definitely could have done something different. I think he probably feels the same way, but that's not typical of him.
Two wrestlers who came into this sport with decorated backgrounds. Yours obviously a lot more than his, but lately you don't use your wrestling as much. He doesn't use it as much as well. What do you expect in this fight? Do you expect the wrestling to come out, or will the fact that both of you are wrestlers neutralize itself and it'll be more of a striking match?
I think it'll be a mixture of everything. It'll be a pure mixed martial arts match with some striking. I think if I hit him in the face, he's going to want to try and take me down more, and I definitely want to put him on his back during the fight as well. So he's quick and dangerous on his feet and a good wrestler, and I feel like I'm the same. Maybe not as quick, but more dangerous. So it's an interesting matchup for sure.
And obviously we talked about UFC 151. You were going to get a title shot there. If you win this fight, how far away do you think you are from a title shot?
I don't know. I guess you got to ask Dana that one.
We will ask him that in a matter of moments. One more thing I wanted to ask you about. You live in California. You train in California. California State Athletic Commission announced recently that they won't allow TRT, TUEs, therapeutic use exemptions, unless you have it already. Do you think that's the right call? Is that fair?
I think that there's a lot more to that than it just being a cut dry thing. So I mean, no, I don't think it's fair. But at the same time, there's people that have been abusing it, and I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they could go about it in different ways. Just a lot more random drug testing throughout the year would help. Just nationally, the UFC should really implement that or think about it.
Why do you think someone like Vitor gets so much hate for being on TRT and you don't get any criticism for it?
I don't know. Maybe it's because they don't think that's all he's doing. I don't know. Just because he got popped a few years ago for steroids as well. So I don't know.
All right, Dan, thank you very much for the time. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.